If you want to know what it takes to start a business with no money, it's totally possible, but there's some really important things that you need to know. I'm going to talk about the 3 things that you need to consider if you're ready to start making money with your business now, even if maybe you haven't left your job yet. My name is Amy Landino. I'm a high-performance mindset coach, 3-time best-selling author, and international keynote speaker. I've made over 1,000 videos on this channel talking about money, mindset, and productivity, all in an effort to help you go after the life you want. If you want to start a business without any money, the first thing I want you to think about is leverage. When you're saying you don't have any money to start a business, you're saying there's a type of leverage that's missing. The leverage that you do have is probably time. And so you're looking for ways to come up with how to spend time that would bring in money, which is great. That is a great way to start. You're bootstrapping, you're freelancing, you're trying to get to know a trade that you're learning and seeing how to sell it to a certain demographic of people who would be interested in it. That is time well spent, specifically if you're building your own thing. But you're still going to have to figure things out at a certain point with money, because when you go into building a business with only thinking, how can I spend my time to make money, you're probably going to limit how much money you can actually make. Actually, I know for a fact you're going to limit the amount of money you can make, not just because you're only one person and there's only so much time that you have, but usually people in this situation end up underpricing themselves because they're like, oh, it's just me. And so it's just, this is how much I have to cover. This is how much I need to live. This is how much I need to make sure my bills are paid, maybe a couple of expenses to make sure the job gets done. And that's not going to be enough money to build a business. Going into starting a business, you should be thinking about, well, what would it look like if we grew this thing really big? And it wasn't just me. Maybe we're not pricing at that level yet, but I want to be able to price at the level that it isn't just me and be able to get the help that I need to make this thing as good as it can be. If you never do that and you're always just trading time for money and you only price it based on what you believe your time is worth, you're never going to start accumulating this other type of leverage that is money, because you're using all of it to pay your bills to live, which is essentially the same as having a job. All you did is potentially leave a full-time gig where you didn't have to worry about whether or not the lights were turned on or if your paycheck was going to arrive on time, and say, I want a paycheck, but I want to be completely in charge of all of it, take on all of the risk, and also have to sell and market the company in addition to doing the work. I don't know if that sounds like such a great deal when you're originally figuring this out. But if you take on that risky period of time, which I believe is worth it when you keep the end game in mind, and you know you're building something bigger than you, then you can get to a point where it isn't just you. You should really assume, please, please, please assume that you are not going to be in love with your business forever. I fell for this so hard, so hard. I wish I could go back and tell my younger self 13 years ago that you may live for every ounce of work. I didn't even want to take vacations with my family who would say like, hey, we're going to go do this. And I'd be like, no, I have so much work to do. And it was what I wanted. And I loved every second of it. And I woke up so early in the morning to start working on it until late at night. I lived for it. And I thought, I get to do this. This is amazing. This is the best thing that's ever happened to me. It's never going to get old. It got old. Listen, this is amazing. I love that this is my job, but there are so many other aspects of my life that I love just as much. And that balance I want so much more now than I did at the time. So being able to care that much and spend that much time and be amped by doing what I was doing has set me up for the success that I have now. But having the path paved to figure out, okay, when do I get to just do the things that I want to do and then have other people support me on the stuff I don't necessarily have to do anymore. I have no problem asking other people to help me do them, because I would also do them and have done them and totally understand the inner workings and the challenging parts of this business. But I know it will be better because I don't have to do all of the things that I'm not great at anymore. Assume you are not going to love every part of your business forever, because that day will come. So this is a big thing. We don't think about this when we first start, because all we care about is, I just don't want to commute anymore. I don't want to work for my crappy manager anymore. I want to just work for myself. But you are still trading time for money when you don't have capital to put up for a business that operates at a little bit of a higher level. It's fine. We want to get to a higher level. So now if you don't have any money, you have maybe a skill set that you think you know you're interested in, and you have time to trade for. After we think about the leverage aspect of the business and where we want to go, now we want to think about relevancy. There's this huge misconception about how easy it is to start making money for a business. There's lots of ways to Google different passive income streams. Sure, some of them are easier to start than others. Some of them mean you have to talk to people and some of them don't. And if you just want to be able to keyboard warrior on your laptop and not have to go talk to a bunch of people, there's options for you. However, it doesn't mean that it's very simple and there's all kinds of monies coming at you just because you made this decision. It also doesn't mean that if you say, I want to go and be an influencer, I'm going to go record my life, I'm going to go record recipes that I make or different things in my process that I do and start an Instagram account or start a YouTube channel. It takes time to build that and you need to build relevancy. So whether you're going that route or you really want to start a services business or have some kind of a product, you need to figure out what it means to be relevant. And this does require human interaction. We need to talk to people. This is going to pay off for you in a, literally, this is going to pay off for you in a big way because you're going to get hung up on starting your business because you need to price yourself at a certain level. You're going to get in your head of whether or not you can price yourself at a certain level because you don't have the confidence yet. And you get the confidence by execution. All the while, the most important thing when it comes to how you're going to price yourself and what you're going to do is about someone else and not you. It's really easy to lose track of that because you're so in your head right now about how do I make money? How do I pay my bills? How do I leave my job? How do I become successful? As very much about you. And I'm not saying that you're not important, but the way that we lift you up is by lifting others up as well. And so we need to define relevancy for you. The only way to do that is to speak with other people or research other people or try to figure out where you can serve other people and really break ground on that. What matters to them? What makes them lose sleep at night? Why are they buying this? What do they think it's going to do for them? Why am I going to be relevant to someone else? And the best way to figure that out is to ask questions. It is pretty much the only thing you can do. You can directly ask questions. You can Google questions. You've got to ask questions, but not just how to start a business without any money. The questions need to be, how does this person need support? What is going on with them that they think they need this solution? Or what is happening that makes them operate at the level that they're at, but not at a higher level? What can I do to support that? If you want to know why someone might become a client of yours, ask them what's going on with them and how you might be able to help. Not necessarily directly, how can I help you? But what's going on with you? What do you struggle with? Where do you feel like the missing link is? Why do you work with this camp and not that camp? You're only able to figure out how to be relevant in someone's life when you figure out how they got to where they are right now that you're having this conversation. Not just because you need to figure out how you can pitch to them, which is going to sound really gross at first, but it's actually not that bad because you're making it about the other person. But also because you want to make sure that they're actually a client that you would want to work with. When I first started my business in social media marketing, one question that was on my questionnaire was like, how did you get here? Why do you want to work with me? If somebody's going to answer because my printer's broken, can you please help me with that? I know we're not in alignment. That may sound stupid to you right now, but I promise you in 2010, when I said that I work on the internet and do social media for businesses, there was a big misconception and huge amount of misunderstanding about what the scope of that work was, because somebody thought that if you knew anything about computers, you must know everything about computers. You want to know that the person that you want to help is at least on the right track as to why they might work with you. And it's something you actually want to do because, like I said, this is your business. You take on all the risk. You've got to do all the work. You want to kind of like your clients. You want to kind of like the work. There's a reason why you're doing this. You have to wake up every day and love it, even on the days that it sucks. So you want to make sure that your clients or your customers are somewhat in alignment with what you do. Not going to lie, at the beginning, there's going to be some relevancy checks that make you go, okay, I don't think that's what I want to do, but I have a feeling they're going to write me a big fat check. And you're going to have to make a decision. Do you want that runway so that you can try to figure this out and get going and have a client and be able to try? Sometimes the answer to that is yes, but you take on the risk that you're going to do some work that you didn't really want to do to start. This is great experience, I got to say, because you will then know, I don't want to do that again in the future, or I don't work with that type of client again. That can be great experience. And sometimes the money is good enough that it's worth going down that road. Later on in your business, that is not going to fly. Doing custom work, figuring it out for each person and it all being different all the time is not going to build a sustainable business. At the beginning, it might be good enough for you to start to figure things out, give things a try, and again, have the money to be able to do it. But it's not going to be a long-term play. Understanding how are you relevant to someone, and that has everything to do with them and nothing to do with you. What's going on with you? Where do you need support? What do you think you're struggling with? Those are the things that are going to help you understand where you can play a role. When you start a relationship with a client or a customer in that way, it is so much easier for you to get out of your head, especially if you're side hustling right now and you don't have any clients yet, or you've only done free work and you haven't priced yourself yet, or you have a business, but all of your clients are really paying the lowest amount possible because you just haven't figured out how to value up your services. Get out of yourself, get out of your circumstance, and get into the head of the person that you want to work with, because they're going to tell you what's going to make it worth it if you'll just be quiet and listen. So you understand what leverage you have right now to work with. When you have no money and lots of time, you're probably going to take on a variety of more clients or customers than you would have in a perfect situation. But that's going to be the relevancy conversation of where am I relevant and who am I relevant to? And now we want to talk about, with the leverage that you have and the relevancy that you've come to understand, what is the outcome? No one is buying your time. You may only have time as leverage, but they're not buying your time when you own your own business. They are buying an outcome. They are buying a result. And you may feel really uncomfortable with that because, especially at the beginning, you might say, I don't really know if I can guarantee a result. And you know what? Maybe you can't guarantee a result, but that doesn't mean that the result can't be a part of the conversation, that it's not something that you're working toward together. The relevancy of why you will work together and how you are in alignment is what leads into how do we have a conversation about a positive result of working together. This is very simple. It's very simple because you watch a lot of YouTube videos or Instagram reels. You watch a lot of content on the internet that helps you to understand what you need to do to achieve an outcome. And the likelihood that the title of those videos or the content of those videos starts off with something like where you are now, and then a conversation around where you could be instead, that's how you get interested. That's why you end up watching the video. That's why you end up deciding to buy someone's ebook or course. That is why that happens. So the same thing goes for you. Now that you know how could you be relevant in this person's situation, should you work together, you need to find out, well, where are you now and where do you want to be? And that is your outcome. And the conversation of relevancy and the outcome is going to come together really beautifully in the pitch that you're going to make to these people, because you get to use their words to explain back to them how you're able to help them achieve that. When you have that equation, it is so much easier for you to start a business with no money because you're making it about everyone else and not about you, which is what you're going to do for the duration of business. It's a strong start. You have to understand where you lie in that equation, and you will figure that out when you talk to someone about what matters to them. And that's how you talk about what matters to them. How are you relevant? What is happening with them right now? Where are they and where do they want to be? Have a conversation about why they're not there. What's keeping them from that? Tell them you want to know what they think about why they're not where they want to be. That interest alone, that authenticity, that generosity, that curiosity, it is so huge for how someone feels in this conversation and where you can go with just that feeling of humanity that somebody could have with you in the sales process. And they don't even know they're in the sales process because you just keep talking to them about them. That's what makes the difference. I hope that was helpful for you as you get your business started up today. I've got some links in the description down below you might be interested in if you're just getting started or if you're trying to elevate the revenue at your company. Check that out, and I'll see you on the next one.